If you don't do these 3 simple things, you're throwing away both your time and your money. I'm Mike. This is all about pressure washing, so let's get right into it. Okay, there are 3 things that you probably use on a daily basis that are the biggest money makers for your business. And in the grand scope of things, these 3 things, they really don't cost a ton of money to replace completely, but there are some things that you can do to prolong the life of these things, which is going to help you save a little bit of time, a little bit of money, and a lot of heartache. So what a lot of guys fail to remember is these things are consumables. They are built with fail points, replaceable components that will inevitably at some point fail because they're designed this way so you can replace the individual components as opposed to replacing the entire system, which again saves you money. So we're going to talk about 3 of the biggest things that I see and hear from you guys and obviously deal with in my own business. But before we get into that, I did want to mention that 𝗤𝘂𝑟𝑒 is finally out. We're in the middle of beta testing right now and the feedback has been tremendous. It's on both the App Store and Google Play Store, and this is the ultimate tool for your business. In the free version, you can create customer profiles, send estimates, send invoices, and best of all, you can get paid online. And if you want to get the hourly rate calculator, the integrated mapping and measuring feature, or the fully customizable inspection feature, all are available within the app. There is a link below, and in honor of the launch, Justin and I are giving away a pressure washing business starter kit with a 4-gallon per minute machine, a 20-inch surface cleaner, and a 100-foot of high pressure hose. And this is great for somebody that's just starting out or adding to your current setup. There is a link for that if you'd like to register to win. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is your chemical injector. If you're pressure washing, you're most likely utilizing a downstream injector. And if you're not, definitely look into that, because if you're using a pump up sprayer, you're wasting even more time than when a chemical injector goes bad. So these are relatively simple in the fact that there are only 4 components involved with a chemical injector. You've got the body, you've got the threaded nipple that your draw hose attaches to, and within that nozzle is a ball and a spring. All of these things work together to allow you to draw chemical at low pressure and shut off the flow of chemical at high pressure. Now, several things can go wrong here. Of course, you can get trash in there, which is going to stop up the flow, but the main thing is that spring can deteriorate, rust out, basically just give out. This typically happens as a result of prolonged exposure to the harsh chemicals that we use on a daily basis. And this is why it's so important to rinse fresh water through your chemical injector after every use. And as a little added protection, hit it with a squirt or 2 of WD-40 at the end of the day. Now, this doesn't really take a bunch of time, but it's going to save you a bunch of time in the field when you're out troubleshooting, switching things out. And as always, have a backup. Set up with the right fittings so you can just replace and move on and not lose a tremendous amount of time. And please don't get on the old interweb and complain about having a chemical injector go bad. Yeah, if it goes bad in the first day, you can complain, there's an issue. But if you've been using it for a few weeks, cleaning a bunch of stuff and making lots of money, don't complain about having to replace the $30 part, because if you look at the big picture, that $30 ain't in it. So that is number 1. And number 2, if you're in this business, you probably have a surface cleaner, and that surface cleaner has a swivel. Now, the swivels, again, eventually are gonna fail. And if you think about what they do every single day, the amount of stress and pressure they're put under, compiled again with those harsh detergents, components are gonna fail. Some of the swivels are sealed, so you're probably not gonna have to do any kind of preventative maintenance to them. But a great example of what I'm talking about, and something that you can do to prolong the life of your swivel, actually something that I just experienced, and that is, if your swivel has a Zerk fitting, remember it is on there for a reason. Now, we have several of these BE 20-inch surface cleaners, just like the one that we're giving away with the 𝗤𝘂𝑟𝑒 starter pack. 2 of them were purchased about 9 months ago, right at the same time. One of them is still running like a champ. The other isn't. Now, one of the guys called and said, hey man, my surface cleaner isn't spinning. So I helped him troubleshoot it over the phone, and we determined that the swivel was shot. So of course I asked him if he'd been using the grease gun, and his answer was no. And I asked him why, and he said that he had lost it. So I went back and looked at the inspection form that we use at the start of each day. It's just something that we do every single day. It takes a few minutes, like checking tires, oil levels, making sure you got the chemical you need, the gas that you need, so you can plan accordingly throughout the day and to be the most efficient. Now, I went back through his log, and he said that he had been doing it. He had not been doing it. And not only did he lose his grease gun, but he also lost his job. And it's not because I had to replace a swivel. It's because he lied to me, and he was lying every single time that he logged in this inspection. That's neither here nor there, but the point is, if you don't do the things necessary, things are gonna fail prematurely. One surface cleaner is working, the other one isn't, and that's because he didn't do the proper maintenance. Now, I think that this thing was like $350, which is about 1/3 of the cost of the surface cleaner, but it's the component which makes everything work, and it makes us a ton of money every single day as we're out there cleaning various concrete and other flat surfaces. So does it take a lot of time to replace it? No, but it still takes time out of your day. It cuts down on your efficiency and your productivity, which obviously is a waste of time. And we all know that what? Time is money. Leave that down in the comment section. So the last component, which is also a consumable, not as expensive as a swivel, more expensive than a chemical injector, and that's your 12-volt pump for soft washing. Now, these things are anywhere from $150 to $300, depending on what you're buying. So that's very, very cheap when you consider the amount of time that you get out of them and the amount of money you make using them. Honestly, even if you get 10 jobs done at an average of, say, $500, a $300 pump is absolutely nothing. Of course, like anybody, myself included, I hate having to replace things. So definitely do everything that you can to take care of your equipment. These things are pretty easy to maintain. All you got to do is run fresh water through them after every single job. Now, you're probably going to do that anyway because you're rinsing off the chemical, but if you happen to be using your pressure washer to do the rinsing to speed things up, spend some time and flush everything out. It doesn't take a lot of time to flush out all of your hoses as well as your hose reels and that pump. And this is going to help to reduce the damage to all the internal components that are exposed to these harsh chemicals and the water. Okay, so that is it for today's video. Those are the 3 things that you can do to help save you time and money. They're simple, they're easy, and trust me, you're going to thank yourself for taking the time to do these things. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out 𝗤𝘂cije and register for that free giveaway, and I hope you have a great day.